Ooh, testing, testing, testing. Bear with me. I hope you're well, all of those who decide to join us today here on YouTube on the live. I never know what to say on lives, especially early on when there's nobody watching. But then it's just the same really as when you're making a video, isn't it? There's nobody really watching when you're making it, but you still just talk. But I suppose for the videos that you make, you've got an intention for the video. Whereas with my lives, they tend to just be there's not really a lot of intention put into them. It's just kind of just switching on and see what happens, really. So welcome to whoever joins today. Welcome to whatever people want to talk about, chat about, discuss. I'm just on with a painting. I started this the other day, and I just put some colour down really, and it's for somebody that wanted a painting doing of a rose, which I've actually managed to print off, but the printer's playing up a little bit, so the print is actually a little bit stripy. And I've changed all the inks, and I've cleaned the print heads, and I've done all the stuff that you think you need to do to make it print properly, but it's still not quite right. So I don't know what's up with it, but hey ho, it is what it is. But this is, I've just been putting some colour down. This is just kind of like I said, I didn't have the print at the time, so I was just thinking, you know what, I'll just put some colour down, I'll just see what happens, and then do a few layers, and then, so I always tend to put like a background down first, of just a load of just different colours, and then just see what evolves from it. It's the way I like to work is I kind of like to give just like an impression of what the painting's going to be about, or what it's meant to be. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I'm just trying to get set up at the minute. So welcome to those that are joining, those that are tuning in. It's nice to have you here. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get notified whenever I do go live. When I do go live, it tends to be a range of things. It's not just artwork. It can be anything from live meditations to healing sessions to general discussions about whatever might be going on. So yeah, it really does vary. Yo dude, Cristiano, can you listen to Terminal 64? Is that a YouTube channel? What is it? I have no idea what that is. But I might give it a listen at some point. Terminal 64. I'll make a note of it. See what it's all about. So how is everybody? How is everybody doing? There's a few people in that have just joined. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Keep updated with what content I'm putting out there. And whenever I go live, you can join me. You'll have probably seen the name of the channel, so it's a lot of it's about meditation, mindfulness, Reiki, and all things kind of spiritual, really. So if that's something that floats your boat, don't forget to hit that button and subscribe and keep updated with my content. Hi Sarah, how are you? Thanks for saying hi. How's everybody's day going? It's a Sunday, it's a lazy Sunday. What have we all been up to today? Anybody been in London over the weekend for the protests and the marches? What was it like? I bet the atmosphere was amazing. I bet it was really powerful. I'm doing very well, thank you as well, Sarah. I'm glad you're doing well. Whereabouts are you? Where are you located, Sarah? Are you in the UK or are you further afield? Hi, Lillian. It's a nice name, Lillian. Yeah, Arabic. Oh, interesting. Yimbil Diwa. Hello. You're welcome, Lillian, you're welcome. What have you been up to today? Sarah, Lillian, Yimbil, what have you been doing? What have you been up to today? Anything inspiring? Anything that might intrigue people? Anything interesting, or has it just been a lazy Sunday? What have you been up to? Typical Sunday, family, cleaning, mostly eating. That sounds like a good day. Yeah, I did some housework this morning and a bit of pottering about, a bit of cleaning, a bit of hoovering. Yeah, it's one of them days, isn't it, where it's just I like having whether it's a Saturday or a Sunday, I like having a good day where I can just have a good clean up and what have you, and just sort things out and tidy around the house a little bit. I like doing that. It just sorts all the stuff out, doesn't it? Sometimes go over my parents on a Sunday as well, but not this week. Plus, it's getting a bit much for them to do dinner, so I tend to just go around and just visit rather than, because my mum likes to do like a dinner or what have you, but it's like I say, it's getting a bit much for her now. Bless her. You're beautiful, and I hope you're having a great day. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. I'm having a good day. What's the time zone? So where you are, it is 5:50. It's 4:50 here. So you must be, you in France? Around about there? Monkey for Life. Hi, Monkey for Life. I love that name. Monkey for Life. Austria. Oh well, little bit further over, yeah. How's things in Austria? Is it peaceful over there, or is it Is it a bit like the rest of the world in chaos at the minute? There seems to be a lot of stuff going on, doesn't there, at the minute around the world? A lot of events taking place and people standing up and shouting. I think there's been quite a bit going off in France lately as well. I don't really pay much attention to what's going on. I don't get political. Same like the rest of the world, yeah. It's funny times, isn't it? But I think we're at a really pivotal moment, really. I think where people have just kind of like been suppressed too much. They've just had enough, and they just want to have their voices heard, I think. So there's too much division going on, and too much control, trying to control us and push us into little boxes, and it's just, yeah, it's the usual games that they like to try and play. But people are becoming a little bit more clued in, aren't they? So what's it like, Austria? Is it a pretty country? Is it quite green, or is it built up? I've never been over that way, so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't really know, to be fair. Oh yeah, you've got the Alps, that's right. Silly me. Yeah, because they run through, don't they, from... is it like... do they run through... Is it southern France? Do they run across there and into like sort of through Austria and northern Italy sort of area? Is it around that way? Am I thinking of the right place? These last sort of few days I've been chatting to loads of different people from loads of places, which I didn't really know where I knew where the countries were roughly, but not precisely where they were. And so there's been quite a few geography lessons for me personally with the last few lives that I've done, and I've actually been better at what I thought I would be at geography, because I kind of like roughly know where places are and where countries are, but it's not something that I kind of look into a lot. So I was quite pleased with how much I was actually quite close to being right. Arnold Schwarzenegger's from Austria. Yeah, he is. He is indeed. Hasta la vista. Is that Austrian? Hasta la vista. Is what he says? Is that an Austrian saying? And does it mean I'll be back? What does it mean if it is Austrian? No, not at all. All right, okay. Fair enough. Does it mean anything? Or is it just something he's just kind of like just penned himself, and that's become his kind of like his tagline? None of you know why he talks like that, but it's funny. Yeah, fair enough. It might just be something he's just... Is it a fake accent? Do you think his accent's not actually real? Do you think he's made it up just for like Hollywood and fame purposes. Do you think that's what he's done? I can just imagine him like when he's away from the camera and he's just talking normally. He's talking like really sort of like the Queen's English. Like, I say, oh boy, what the devil's going on? I think it's fake for the role he plays in front of the yeah. Because I don't know. Well, I've never really actually heard him speak. I don't know, like properly, I suppose. I've never really heard him speak. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I have. Maybe I just don't really pay much attention to him. Which president do you think was the cutest? Ooh. What, in America, in the US? That's a really strange question. Which president do you think was the cutest? Where's this going to go? Who knows? What's my favourite soccer team? You know, I don't really follow football. It doesn't interest me. It's really boring. I just find it really, to be honest with you, I find most sports very, very boring. And yeah, just don't really have much interest in them, like watching them. People get all like worked up and excited about football and these games and like tennis or cricket or football or golf or, well, definitely not golf, bloody hell. But they just don't know. I've no real interest in sports. Never really been interested in sport, to be fair. I've played sports over the years. I am northeast of England. You are quite right, Paul Brady. Thank you. Well spotted. Are you northeast of England as well? And if so, whereabouts? Takes a keen ear to hear that, like. Not far away from Middlesbrough, about 12 mile away to the west of Middlesbrough, so not far at all. So well spotted. Whereabouts are you? Are you northeast? What do I think about the royal family? I really don't know what to say about the royal family. I don't really have much. I don't really have much to say about them, to be fair. I think they're a bit of an outdated institution, and I think it's all died off really since the Queen passed away. I think a lot of it's just died off. You got a mate from Stockton, you're in Merseyside. Ah, right, okay. So ferry across the Mersey. Yeah, I don't really I don't really have much interest in the royal family. I don't really even take much notice of what's going on with them. I just find them quite insulting, really. Especially in this day and age when you've got people that are living on the streets and they're sitting in their golden carriages and being worshipped. You just think, come on, get a grip. It's a bit of an outdated institution, I think, but that's just my opinion. They're the last country that still has it, or Sweden. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Hey, Cynthia. You might have missed a bit. What you painting? Sorry on the skip out yesterday. It's all right. I'm just on painting a rose. Charles is a two limo. Oh, he's an absolute doofus, isn't he? He's just like, he's like a wet weekend. What's the point? What is the point in him? You see him when you saw him getting in the. I was going to say, did you see him when he got coronated? But that makes him sound like he's been turned into coronation chicken or something like that. But when he was in the coronation and they put the crown on his head, you just think, God, it looks like a bloody flower pot. It looks like one of the flower pot men. Absolutely pathetic, the whole lot of them. It's like Coronation Street, that family. And I don't even watch that. And then they've got all these links to, I'm not going to use the words, but they've got all these links to different people, wink wink, that they've had over the years, and you think, oh, wait, man. And you still get people that are worshipping them and lording over them, and you think, oh my God, get a grip. So yeah, I don't think much about them. Sorry, I went on a bit of a rant there. Nice, able to paint and carry a convo. Congrats. I'm into learning bloodlines and such. Interesting, very interesting. Learn about the bloodlines. Yeah. Is that like the royal family bloodlines and things? Going back into the history of them. Is this a meth lab? No. Sorry. Wrong live. Next one. Next live. Scroll up one, you might find it. And the origins in general, yeah. I mean, I like the history of the royals. I like the journey of the royal families over the years. I'm very interested in sort of like Tudors, the Tudors and the Stuarts and all the like the really early on history, as the country was being kind of like built and put together, and the kingdom was being created. So I like a lot of that. I find quite interesting. But I still think they're all just insane. They're all like a little bit mad. Or like what the do you mean like the origins of Earth? Do you mean, is that what you mean? And how the like do you mean like evolution, that sort of stuff, how we've evolved? Because that's very interesting when you start looking into evolution and the stuff that is kind of like the stuff that's taught, but also the stuff that isn't taught as well, the stuff that they don't tell you in history, and you have to kind of like really start looking deep behind things. Especially when you look at some of the ancient religious texts. There's a guy on YouTube that I like to watch called Paul Wallace, and he breaks down a lot of the origins of the Bible and Jesus and the stories from that, and also the connections to alien beings and extraterrestrials and all that sort of stuff. It's really interesting. That guy himself used to be a pastor, Paul Wallace. So it's really interesting that he's gone down that path to just try and discover more, and it's unveiled a lot of this hidden information that you've rightly said there. Hidden knowledge and hidden information, which they don't want people to know about. Because if you know about where you've actually come from, then it kind of like, if you find that out, you find out everything's just been a big lie, and you're actually more powerful than what you realize. And that's why so many of us now are all tapping into their beliefs, their abilities, spiritual abilities. More people tapping into that kind of psychic connection, telepathy, because we're all telepaths. We can all communicate via telepathy, but the majority of us just class it as a coincidence. But I'm sure there's many a time, and I'm sure there's many a people that will they'll think of somebody, and then that day or the next day that they've not spoken to for ages, and then they'll ring them, or they'll bump into them, or they'll see them because they're connecting on that frequency. So when you start actually tapping into it and realizing that there is a lot more to us than what we actually have been kind of like told through all the conditioning, from education, from work, from employment, from religion, from belief structures that are put in place to keep us indoctrinated into not looking beyond. And if you look beyond something, then people point the finger and say, oh, they are this, or they are that, or they are weird. But yeah, when you start actually looking deeper into it, there's a lot that we don't get told. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. It's good that you're looking into it. I used to look a lot into it. I used to go down the rabbit hole quite a lot years and years and years ago, like at the very early stages of my spiritual awakening. I don't as much now because I'm kind of like more at peace with where I am, and I'm more focused on the present moment, because there's a lot more healing to get from the present moment. And actually being in the present moment actually unravels a lot of that systematic programming. So being in the present moment, it actually makes you expand beyond your physical reality, because then you become boundless. You become totally independent of time, of the physical awareness, and you're stepping more into your spiritual energetic awareness. So you're moving beyond those boundaries, which again is something that the system doesn't want you to do. It doesn't want you to evolve beyond that, and that's why all these things, like people say, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist, or he's mad, or whatever. You know, that's why you get a lot of this. But so many people now that are just like, they're really, really tapping in, and it's wonderful to see, but it's also, it's one of them things. I made a video about this not so long ago, actually. It's one of them things that we have to do, and we have to go down, and we have to experience as part of our kind of like awareness journey, because we need to be aware of everything. But then as you start to evolve, you actually become less dependent on looking at that stuff, because you then start to realize actually a lot of that's a distraction from who we are now within ourselves. So once you start coming back to the now, you find a deeper sense of power in the present moment within the self, rather than looking into lots of other stuff. So I think on some level it's a distraction, where a lot of this stuff gets thrown out, and like, oh, look at this, look at that, look at that, look at that, and it's sending you everywhere but here. But I think it's part of the process, so we have to learn that, to then find out, actually, I need to come back here. Rather than be out there, I need to be here, now. Yeah, the foods don't help you that either. Yeah, the two big things that really, really helped me kind of like become more aware and become more openly aware of things was changing my toothpaste. Fluoride toothpaste, got rid of that. So I've just been using natural toothpaste for, God, 10 years maybe now, maybe longer. And then I also got a water filter, and that's been life-changing. Just a normal water filter, because it takes a lot of the heavy metals out, a lot of the shit out of the water, so your body can actually process it better. Whereas when it's got all that heavy stuff in, it's actually bringing you down. It's bringing your vibration down, because of all the density in the water, in the food, in the different things that we eat, that we've been, again, kind of conditioned to eat, the processed food, the heavily manufactured foods as well. So even a lot of the vegan foods that people think, oh, that must be good for me, it's vegan, but they're actually not very good at all, because they're very, very heavily processed as well. So that they're not great either. And I mean, I have nothing against, if anybody wants to, whatever people want to choose for their lifestyle, what they want to eat is down to them at the end of the day. So, I mean, I mean, for a long time I didn't really eat a lot of meat, and it was I had mainly quite a vegetarian diet, but it also made me become quite overweight. I didn't, because it was all heavily carb driven, the diet. Even though, yes, there was lots of vegetables and things, but there was also lots of other things like cheese and what have you, which is good it's good for certain things like your fats and what have you, and protein. But obviously, vegetarian diets tend to have like a lot of that to kind of like pack the meals out a little bit, don't they? Yeah. So, well, hey ho. Cheesy chips. Can't beat cheesy chips. Oh, that used to be my go-to meal after a night out. Cheesy chips and a bit of kebab meat. That used to be like 3 or 4 times a week. I couldn't do it now. Use natural toothpaste, ginger tea straight for a year. Yeah, detox and inflammation left. Good. Ginger is amazingly powerful, an amazingly powerful root, I suppose. Very, very powerful. It's really good in a tea, along with like lemon, honey, cinnamon, a little bit of cayenne pepper or black pepper. They're really good as well for your blood, for your immune system. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, when you start sort of looking into these things. And I find it's also quite interesting how a lot of this becomes more accessible as we vibrationally shift our awareness and become lighter in energy because of the practices that we're doing and the healing work that we're doing. A lot of this stuff starts coming into our awareness, so you start seeing a lot more of it on your social media, on your devices, and things like that, because it's what is moving into your gravitational field. It's what you need to be more aware of. So it's very interesting how that works. And obviously the likes of people like, Barbara O'Neill, who kind of like just erupted out of nowhere after like 2020 and the whole shebang of what went through after that. Yeah. But she's helped to really kind of open people's minds as well to a lot of more natural ways of being able to heal ourselves with food and with what we're putting in our body, and the different things that we can put in our body to actually take things out of our body that don't need to be there, like the heavy metals and what have you. I started getting messages popping into my brain and just went with it. Food, movement, meditation, all just led me. Yeah. Yeah, well, we all go through a process, don't we? For me, it was kind of like the other way around. So it was like meditation, Reiki, energetic, spiritual, and now it's more physical. So now it's more to do with the body, for me. But we all find our own way and when it's right for us. But yeah, she is really intelligent. She's got a load of knowledge. She'd be a really interesting person to chat to, actually. So welcome to the live. If anybody's just joined and they're new and they've not been here before, welcome. So if it's your first time here, my name's Ian, and I tend to go live a few times a week. I'm trying to go live a few times a week, and I do various different things. Sometimes I'll just do like what I'm doing today, where I just chat and make conversation with people that jump on and just bring up different subjects. While I'm doing a bit of painting, so I'm killing like two birds with one stone. Or then, like the other day, I did a live meditation for anybody that was there that joined. There wasn't many people on, but I thought with everything that was going on in London, it was really good, powerful time to do a little bit of visualization and just connecting into that energy as well, and sending some healing to the earth. And to the global collective, to humanity. So I think that's probably not my last live, maybe the one before. So, and then the rest of the time it's content. So I try to release content Mondays and Fridays. I tend to have videos going out. Sometimes I've tried to be a little bit more regular with my content, so I tend to be putting a little bit more out now. So I'm trying to do Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays for videos, for content ideas. And then I'll make shorts in between that as well and put them out to try and promote the longer videos for people to go and check them out. Whether that works or not, I don't know, but I just think, well, you know what, it's a great way for the channel to get seen and for me to try and help promote and grow the channel, because I've had this channel for like just over 5 years now, and we're around about 3,600 subscribers, so that's really good. I mean, to be honest with you, I never thought I would keep it going for this long, but I'm glad I have, because it's been a really good journey, and I've met some wonderful people along the way through the videos, through the membership, through the lives. So yeah, so there's the opportunity to join the membership, where you get early access and sneak peeks to new content that's just waiting, scheduled to go out. And that's for something like $3.99 a month, so it's not a lot. And then the next level, I think, is $6.99 a month, $6.99 a month, where which is kind of like a new level I've just created, and it'd be nice to try and do maybe like more of a one-to-one connection with those members. So do maybe like a Zoom video or a Zoom call, or connect on some sort of video media, just to have a closer connection, so you're actually getting more for what you're paying for, rather than just early access and sneak peeks and whatever else YouTube decides to sort of like hand out. It's getting more of a one-to-one access, and then that in turn starts to build community, and you get more members, and so that's the idea anyway. It's still a work in progress, but that's the idea. So yeah, but the majority of the time, the videos that I do and the content that I do make is about like meditation, your meditation practice, developing it, Reiki, energy healing. I talk about crystals quite a lot, various forms of healing, hypnotherapy, with just the stuff that I practice basically, which is EFT, hypnotherapy, Reiki, meditation, and putting them all together. I'm also like a personal trainer as well, so it's bringing the mind, body, spirit aspect all together. So you've got like the physical side of things, so the physical body, the training the body, making it fit and strong, because that's what carries your soul, your spirit, but also having your mental and emotional balanced, so everything's in harmony. So it's about having harmony. So a lot of people tend to go very heavily into the physical stuff, so it'll just be all about the physical body, building muscle, getting fit, but they totally forget about the mental, emotional and spiritual aspect of the self as well. So that's where I'm trying to bridge that gap, and bring all of those areas together, because it's stuff that we need to be aware of, and we need to have access to it. So if that sounds like something that you would like to know more about, then subscribe to the channel. And also, I always have my links below in the descriptions box on all my videos. So that's got my website, it's got my socials on there, it's also got my school account there as well, which is free to join currently. And that's the school community that I'm trying to build, is to support people that are having issues with anxiety or some sort of mental health, and being able to try and help them with various mindful techniques, meditation, maybe EFT. Some of these videos will go over there as well, that I do on here. But it's just trying to find ways of being able to support and help. Excellent content. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy. I'm glad you hear the channel. polarity in the body. Can you tell me what this is? And Reiki, if that makes sense. Polarity in the body. So polarity in the body is like kind of like when you're polarizing your emotions. So basically polarizing, I'm going to try and break this down so it becomes easy to understand. But if you think of your spine, your backbone, if you think of that as your pole basically, and going up your pole are your main energy points, or chakras, you might want to call them chakras, and each of those energy points are indicative of emotions, and emotions that get trapped in the body. And it's not just at those points, it moves through the body and around the body, these emotions, and becomes stuck, where it sort of like depletes the energy a little bit in various areas. So being able to polarize the body is basically having to try and access the energy body, so polarizing and harmonizing that. So what I mean by that is when we're trying to polarize something, basically if we're working with something like, I don't know, it might be a level of trauma or something that is just stopping you in an aspect of life where, I don't know, it could be just like a fear of something, it could be a fear of going outside or something like that. So what you're trying to do there to try and polarize that is having an awareness of the original underlying fear, of where that started, and where it came from. So what I would do, as either in hypnotherapy or EFT, I would, and in Reiki as well, Reiki comes alongside this, I would try to regress them back to that point of when that fear first came around, what they were aware of. And then I would say, right, now tell me whereabouts in the body you would feel that fear. And then I would ask them to look at it and maybe identify it with a color. And I would get them to like create this fear-like thing into like an entity form, because that's what it is basically. And through that, once you've identified it, then you can start working with it and healing it and starting to release it and let it go, just by talking to it and by not giving it permission to be there and allowing it to leave, and allowing your own energy to heal it, to polarize it and to shift it out of the body. So as a for instance, I had an issue probably a couple of years ago where I was having problems with my stomach, and I've talked about this before on the channel a few times, and I kept getting this acid reflux all the time. So it got to a point where it was that bad. I thought, right, I'm just gonna have to sit with this. So I sat with it, and I just went into meditation. I sat with it and I just listened to my body, and I started just talking to it, and I was like, okay, what is my body trying to tell me? So your body's always going to talk to you, and it will always give you the answers that you need. So my body, this acid reflux that I was getting, my body was telling me that there was a level of anger that was there that needed to be addressed. And I thought, well, I'm not really an angry person. I don't know why this would come up, but I thought, well, you know what? Let's just go with it. So I went with it, and I just said, okay, anger. That's in my stomach. So I've identified the emotion, and I've identified the place that it's at, and then I just started talking to it, and I just started saying, okay, anger, I don't allow you to be here anymore. Okay, anger, I now release you. Okay, anger, I don't need you in my life anymore. You are free to leave. I'm going to let you go. You are no longer allowed to be in this body. Okay, anger. I just kept repeating that over and over and over again, and eventually, after a while, I could feel this emotion coming up, and then I just let out this big belch, and all of that just went away from that emotion. So that's what I mean by how things can get like kind of locked in the body, and consciously we won't think that that's what it is, that's what's causing the issue. But when you actually become more mindful in your practice, and you start listening to your body and you're tuning in, your body will speak to you, your body will respond, just by that closer energetic connection that we get. So that's how we polarize the emotion and connect to it. And then Reiki is just like, it's really, really beautiful, really, and it's amazing how it works, and it works totally different for every single person because everybody's different. Everybody's got their own things that are going on, but the energy that you're receiving and the healing that you get is exactly what you need at that time. So consciously, we might think, oh, well, I need to go for a Reiki session because I've got this really, really bad back. Hi, Emily. But underlying from that conscious thought of having this bad back, it could actually be, it could be some level of stress in life. It could be something emotional that's causing you to have this bad back, because the kidneys hold a lot of emotion, they hold a lot of fear. So that tends to be why you have a lot of lower back pain. So the Reiki will go to heal that, and every session that I've given Reiki to anybody, they've always come away feeling so much better, so much lighter, so much fresher, so much freer, just in the energy and in the mind, and it's had really, really amazing beneficial effects. So that's basically how. And that helps to kind of like polarize those emotions as well, because when you're in that state, when you're having a Reiki session, basically what's happening is your vibration is being raised. So you then start to feel like really, really light. You don't feel kind of like fully connected to the moment, like to the consciousness. You feel like a little bit of separation. And how a lot of people describe it is somewhere between being asleep and awake. It's that little place in between, just before you drift off, and that is known as like, it's a theta state way of being, and that's a very, very healing place for the mind, body, spirit to receive a lot of deep healing. So when you go into that state, you're getting all this wonderful, wonderful stuff and all this wonderful healing that you don't even need to think about. You don't consciously need to think, oh, I wonder what's happening now, this is happening. You just kind of like, you just surrender yourself. It pushes you to the Reiki helps to push you to one side, the conscious thinking mind, and allows the healing to come in and take place on an energetic level in between. So you don't need to think about it. It's really, really powerful, very, very powerful, and very, very effective. And it's a lovely practice to give to anyone, really. Anyone can receive Reiki. There's no limitations. You don't have to believe in the Reiki for it to work. It will just work. So yeah, it's very, very powerful. I have done this and it truly works. I found as one unlocks, it seems to want to find another spot to settle, and it just keeps it moving. Not sure how, but if I'm really on point. Not sure what or how, but if I'm really on point that day. Yeah, so what you will find is when you start to work on one level, one emotion, what tends to happen is another one rises up to replace it. So that's why we're working in all these different layers as you're working through. It's not just like kind of a one visit fix. It's multiple things that we need to fix, because we've got various levels of our body. We've got the physical body, we've got the mental body, we've got your emotional body, and you've got your spiritual body. Then you've got all the stuff that takes place in life. So you've got all the shit basically that you have to deal with in everyday life that gets thrown at you as well. So you've got all that to take care of as well. So there's a lot of stuff that you kind of like need to unpack in these sessions. So that's why it's not a one visit fix all, which is where working against sort of medication and what have you. Medication kind of like covers up the symptoms a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. It'll cover up the actual the symptom itself that you need to be aware of. But the symptom is telling you what you need to be aware of, what you need to work with. So the body intelligence is what we're working with, and it's an intuitive intelligence. It really is. Hello, Freya. You subbed. Thank you. Another one. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. How's your day going? Where are you? Where are you located? That's a really interesting name. Is it Freya? Freya? It looks, how it's written, it looks kind of Nordic. Where are you from? Norway, yeah. I thought it looked quite Nordic. We were just talking about no, we were talking about Sweden before, weren't we? Does Sweden still have a royal family? That's something we were talking about before and we weren't too sure. Does Norway have a royal family? We're trying to work out who still has a royal family earlier on. Been chatting and connecting to loads of people lately on these lives. It's been really lovely. It's been really good. I always say as well that the people that you need to talk to and the people that you need to connect with will always just like, they will just turn up, they will just be there. There's no pressure at all. Pop into place. Pop into place? What do you mean pop into place? Pop into place. Pop into place. Do you mean like everything just pops into place? Like the people that come just, they all pop into the place at the right time? Is that what you mean? Yes, yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah, I get you, yeah. Has a nice ring to it though, doesn't it? Pop into place. Can you a little Norwegian? Can I a little Norwegian? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. Sorry, Freya. Can you a little Norwegian? Can you speak now? Oh no, I can. No, I can't speak Norwegian. Sorry. What do you think so far? How's it looking? I don't really paint flowers, so it's kind of like it's new to me, this. Well, it's getting there. It's taking shape. I'm just seeing what happens. Yeah, I'm just seeing what happens with it. A friend asked me to do a painting of a rose, but it was like a very specific rose, which was it was like the mother's favourite rose or favourite flower. So I said, well, yeah, I'll give it a go. Because she's bought loads of my art prints before and some of my artwork before. So she I'm so impressed you can do live and paint productively. Well, it's I just think, you know, if you can kill two birds with one stone, why not? You know, it's just and sometimes like when I've done lives before where I've had to like really focus and concentrate on what I'm actually painting, so then I don't really, especially when I'm doing the details, so I don't really sort of talk that much because I'm really focused on what I'm doing. But yeah, I just try and kill two birds with one stone, really, and just see what I can do. Oh, thank you for the loves. You're good at painting. Thank you. I enjoy painting. It's a really nice way to just relax and calm the mind a little bit and just tune out. And I've been wanting to do some painting for ages, but I've just never really had the chance. And I just thought, you know what, let's just get back on with it and just do it. Only my second live ever, and talked anyway, both with you. It's definitely a different way of communicating. It is a different way of communicating, but I think it's quite a powerful way of communicating as well. It's a very good way of communicating because you really don't know who's gonna turn up, and that's part of the interesting part about it. So you can get into like really deep discussions with people, or you can just have really kind of like down to earth discussions as well with people, which is good as well. Doesn't always have to be the weird and wonderful. It can just be, you know, the weather or or whatever. Where are you from? I'm in UK, in England, northeast England. I've never had a DNA test done before, but I do think that I've got some sort of Nordic connection genetically, because there's a guy that I've spoken to before on the channel, and we did a podcast, probably about a year or two ago, and he lives in Denmark, and he's a pagan, and he's very much into Germanic paganism. So looking at the gods and things like that, and I think, oh my God, he looks a lot like me. We look very, very similar in appearance. Well, that's what I thought anyway. He might not agree with that, but I thought, oh yeah, we have this sort of similar sort of like look. When I was younger as well, I had like really, really bright white blonde hair as a child as well. And I know that's kind of like a bit of like a Swedish Nordic thing, isn't it? That's okay, Friar. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for subscribing, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. It's been lovely chatting to you. Sorry I can't speak Norwegian, but it's been lovely to have you here, and we'll see you again soon for sure. So thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a lovely day. Bye for now. How lovely. How lovely was Freya, eh? So at the minute, I'm just trying to kind of sketch out some leaves with some white paint, just so I have something to work with, so I know where things are, kind of. Oh, that's interesting. Right, so I'll send that across there. And then we've got a few leaves up there. And a couple of leaves down there. Right, so that gives me an idea of where I'm going to go with them, what I'm going to do. Oh, right. So what do we do with this now? Because we've got a lot of stuff going on. And it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know what it is, kind of, but there's just a lot going on this. So, I don't know what to do, or where to take it now. Up there. I might have to leave that for a while just to dry off and just let me percolate a little bit. And let me just have a little bit of a think. So that's where we've got up to. As you can see, I've just sort of sketched some leaves in with some white paint just so I can get an idea of what's going to go where. And then we'll see what happens, we'll see where it goes. So yeah, so I think that for now, I think I'm going to head off because I've been on for just over an hour. But thank you for everyone that's joined today, joined the live, and thank you for the chat. Thank you for Cynthia, Freya, all the lovely people that have been on. There's been quite a few people on. Emily, Dooney, Paul, who knew where I was. Yeah, so it's been an interesting discussion, and I hope you've. Oh, Freya's back. I was just about to go now, Freya. So apologies for that. Yeah, but that's where we're up to with the painting. I'll just show you because I know you were here. So that's where I've just sketched some leaves in with some white paint just to give me an idea of what's going to go where and where I'm going to go. But I'm just going to leave it to dry a little bit just so I can kind of like percolate a little bit with some ideas of what I want to do and where I want to take it. But yeah, it's been lovely chatting, and I'll see you all again very soon in another live. Thank you for subscribing and giving me all the likes. We've had 8 likes, so that's really, really good. So thank you very much. And I'll see you in another video very, very soon. So do take care. Much love. Bye for now. Bye-bye.